I'm asking you to unmute, Julian, but it doesn't seem to be. Is it not working?
It was asking me do I want to join the meeting with audio?
Oh, really? Oh, weird.
Okay. Right, we'll start again.
That's all right. Okay, over to Julian.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Christ Central Morning Devotional. Today's 23rd of February, and it's the year 2022. So it's just back to a normal date today. At the moment, we're working through the book of Luke. So I'm going to be reading from Luke chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 27. After this, so this is just after Jesus has healed the man who was lowered through the roof. After this, he went out and saw a tax collector named Levi sitting at the tax booth. And he said to him, as Jesus said to Levi, "Follow me." And leaving everything, he rose and followed him. And Levi made him a great feast in his house. And there was a large company of tax collectors and others reclining at the table with them. And the Pharisees and their scribes grumbled at his disciples, saying, "Why do you eat and drink with tax collectors and sinners?" And Jesus answered them, "Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance." And they said to him, "The disciples of John fast often and offer prayers, and so do the disciples of the Pharisees, but yours eat and drink." And Jesus said to them, "Can you make a wedding guest fast while the bridegroom is with them? The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast in those days." He also told them a parable. "No one tears a piece from a new garment and puts it on an old garment. If he does, he will tear the new, and the piece from the new will not match the old. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins. If he does, the new wine will burst the skins and it will be spilled, and the skins will be destroyed. But the new wine must be put into fresh wineskins. And no one, after drinking old wine, desires new, for he says, 'The old is good.'" Now on Monday, I talked a bit about what sin is and why it's important that we do something about it. And it struck me that this first passage about the calling of the tax collector followed on beautifully from that. Because Jesus says, I need to go out and find people who actually need saving. And that's really important, and that's something we do. And as we're opening up as a church again, there's a whole, how are we going to welcome people in? And how are we going to welcome in people who have been questioning the whole meaning of life, the universe, and everything over the last 2 years? And it's really important for us that we can consider how we can be an open-facing, welcoming church that will draw people in. Sometimes, if we're feeling under attack, we can think we want to protect ourselves and we want to be safe. And yes, we do want to protect ourselves and we do want a safe environment. On our notice sheet every week, we have a bit about safeguarding because it's really important that the church is a safe environment. But at the same time, this love of Jesus for us, if we think of Paul's writing in Romans, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us, and how undeserving we were for that grace, and of how our lives were and what they were in God's eyes. This love of God for us, as revealed in Jesus, is revealed for everyone. So there's a question of how we can present that and how we can make people feel genuinely welcomed when they come to our church. Because let's be serious, we haven't seen that much of real people over the last couple of years. And it's only now with opening up that we're starting to see real people again. So when we get to church, we might see someone we haven't seen for a while and want to go over and say hello. But also there's what if there's someone there who's new? And what if there's someone there who's not being spoken to? Now it's also important for us to welcome them in. Now I know that I'm guilty of the whole, well, I'll try and catch up with the people I want to catch up with and see what's left over afterwards. Or maybe even the worst, well, they're new and different from me, so maybe I won't go and say hello. But if we were all like that, we'd all end up as not a family of Christ and not as a working body or with different jobs to do. What we need to do is remember that we are a family, and that family is going to look after each other. With the family last week, we watched the Disney film Encanto. There's a character in there who's a bit of a black sheep of the family, and it turns out that that they don't talk about him. You might have heard the song. I'm not going to sing it now. But the thing is, by the end, and I'm going to be a spoiler here, by the end, he's welcomed back into the family. And it's really important, because then they realize that there are bigger values that they want to expound and share with their village and share with their friends, of actually looking out for one another and loving one another. So here, Jesus is saying, I've come to save the people that need saving. That was us, and that is now the people that don't know Jesus. So as missionaries for Jesus, as ambassadors for Christ, we're called for saving those people who still need saving. And that is my very short message for this morning. Thank you very much. Sorry, Helen.